So England do it. They win the series 2-0 against Argentina. It's been a brilliant series. Obviously, we've got the Lions tour going on, but out of all the summer tours, this was the best one, I thought, on paper, and it's proved to be. A 2-0 win for England is amazing, away from home, with 13 of their players away, with the Lions. Jamie George has gone as well, which didn't help in this game, actually, and England still get it done. And I think this was a better performance than the first test. The first test, they had to defend for the whole half. This test, they were much more dominant. I'd say probably the one down thing was the line out. That was a real struggle with Jamie George not there and securing their own ball at times, but they really dominated Argentina. And Argentina, I think, epitomised a side who just wanted it too much and were too frantic. We're going to get into the game, talk about some specifics with what happened, some players, and please let me know what you thought of this game down below. Now, straight away, a couple of minutes in, we see that swamp England defence that's been very effective, and especially in the first half, it was forcing turnovers, 2 in the first 2 minutes, and it set up a perfect opening try. The kicking, the chasing was spot on for England, as it was in the first test. Muir had a much better game. He hassled on the chase on the left, then a Roebuck, a superhuman, clean two-handed take high above his head on the right, just miles above Mendy, who didn't get anywhere close. Then into Atkinson, and that is a perfect start, 0-7. Now, Theo Dan got his big chance with Jamie George away, and it went really badly. I mean, should they have called a long throw to start with to the back? Probably not, and that was an overthrow. And I think it's 3 line-outs he lost out of the first 4, which was not good at all. Then he had to hobble off, so not a great game for Theo Dan. Apart from that, I thought probably everyone else did have a good game, so tough on him, but he had that chance and kind of blew it a little bit there. But 10 minutes in, we can see that Argentina are just that too desperate, too frantic. Wild offloads, one from Gonzalez, gives a scrum for England, and England's scrum was imperious. Baxter and Hayes, the starting front row, just demolished Argentina. They were really good last week as well, so this is a big strength, and Baxter and Hayes, the backup props, if you like, have really put a mark down. Very impressive there. Hayes, I think, has just improved remarkably. Baxter, coming off a disappointing season for Harlequins in general, showed he is class in an England shirt. So they win a scrum penalty. On 14 minutes, we can see that England's attacking pattern is very similar to last week. Quick ball, very direct, a little bit of handling, but they will go to the kick quite early when they're on the front foot. It's very much a tactical attacking kick with some decent chases. Maybe in some ways a shame they don't retain too much ball when they're in the Argentinian half. They go to the kick early, but if it works, that's what they're doing. On 15 minutes, they just force mistakes out of Argentina, who gave so many mistakes away. I mean, they will be gutted in the change room because they know they didn't play that great. I think on 17 all the commentators said, this is a much improved performance from Argentina. It really wasn't, honestly. The 2 tries for Argentina, dare I say, were pretty lucky. So to be 17 all, I think, was fairly fortunate. I think England didn't close it out particularly well and made a meal of it, but this wasn't a good Argentinian performance. Then we get a potential turning point, maybe, as 111 Cat Matera gets a shoulder to the face from Ben Curry, and it wasn't malicious, but players are taught to stay on their feet. We've talked about it lots, and yellow cards are going to happen. And Argentina clearly know this is a time to try and push for a try. Gonzalez, who made some impressive breaks in this game, tries to find the extra man, and it's pretty frantic. Carreras does find a gap, though, more than chance by anything, and there's an easy 2-on-1 to his left, a short one. He doesn't see it, and he gives a long inaccurate pass to the right. So that was a big let off from England, but poor from Carreras. He really should have seen that, or at least the guy inside him should have been shouting for dear life, so not sure what happened there. Anyway, on 25 minutes, Tom Willis is just so good at staying on his feet, and I love the way he can buy some extra time, clearing from the base of a scrum, helping England clear. So another good game for Tom Willis. He's just an absolute beast. A minute later, though, Argentina are on the attack because they know they've got the extra man. It is very frantic, flapping around, and it's pretty lucky as the scrum half Cruz bats the ball around above his head, and it falls for him, and he can put Cinti in. So fortuitous, but they did take advantage of the yellow card, which luckily for England does stay a yellow card. On the half hour, we see that massive England scrum once again winning a penalty. Tom Willis goes off on a man-mountain pinball run where tacklers just bounce off him. So impressive there. Sets up a really nice long phase attack. Seb Atkinson, lovely ball over the top to Muir, who makes good ground on the left, but Matera, a world-class jackal to save the day. And to be fair to Argentina, the turnovers were probably the best part of their game as they kind of dispelled quite a few building England attacks that way. Then on 32 minutes we see England's second try, and unsurprisingly it comes from a massive scrum from England, just destroying that Argentinian scrum, and the backs can back it up with amazing handling, going coast to coast, side to side. The final pass for Muir's a little bit low, but Stewart picks it up nicely to score in the corner. Lovely wide conversion from Ford, 10-14, and they take the lead back. And it has to be said as well, another note in this first half, Ben Spencer has one of the longest box kicks in the world, I think, banging a clearance 50 metres, and loose Argentinian play gives England the ball back as well. And just when England looked to be closing out the half in the lead, then a bit of bad fortune and good fortune for Argentina. Santi Carreras prods the ball forward. It's too long. Stewart's got it covered, but it just glances off the post and deflects to Mendy, who gets the score. So pretty lucky, but hey, Argentina will take it, and they go in half-time 17-14 up into the second half, and Charlie Hall starts to call some easier line-outs for Theo Dan to get his confidence up, and England get into some mauling, which looks pretty good, but as they go wide, they can't make anything of it. Maroney, some brilliant tackling in midfield. He forces Roebuck to fumble at this point. But England, they are well organised in defence. They know what they want to do. They just can't convert the dominance. I mean, they literally dominated the whole of the second half and only just converted at the end. Argentina, pretty strange though, their tactics. They were running from deep. They were taking plenty of risks when they needed to clear. The scrum half Cruz wasn't great at clearing the ball with kicks, which didn't help. And because they're taking lots of risks deep, they're giving counter-ruck opportunities for England, who are taking these quite well. Langdon and Underhill, one big counter-ruck wins a penalty, and it goes back to a draw, 17-all. A funny point you can hear on the ref mic, Ben Spencer yelling, and all scrum halves obviously speak loudly, but Ben Spencer's literally yelling his head off, and it sounds like it hurts. It wants it that much. Anyway, counter-ruck masterclass from England, carrying on, and more loose play from Argentina, giving those targets as they kind of shovel the crap, to be honest, a bit too much. England's mauling is getting closer and closer. Matera gives away two pretty obvious penalties in a row to get himself a yellow, but England just can't get over the line. They've dominated half an hour of the second half, but it's still not happening. The subs have come on and they've added some energy. JVP, Murley, Pepper in particular, and Murley's looking incredibly quick at the moment for sure. I mean, on 66 minutes, Murley bumps off Carreras out wide, but Atkinson just knocks on before JVP can ground the ball for a try. Then a dangerous half break from Roebuck and then JVP, but again a turnover for Argentina as England are banging on that door. Then Pepper rips the ball, 8 minutes to go. Langdon throws the wildest of wide passes though, and it's intercepted. And it looks like maybe it's going to finish 17-all, which would get England the series win. And understandably, the game's pretty tense now as neither side want to lose, of course. But England get that deserved breakthrough at the end, I think. It's Ben Curry and Pepper combining. Offload to Pepper. Pepper stays strong, stays composed, and pops it back in out of contact to JVP to get the try and the deserved win and the series win, 2-0. Quality stuff from England. I really like that performance a lot. I think probably only the line-out throwing was the main issue. The rest of it I thought was outstanding. The kick chase, the scrummaging, the contact work, the handling, really impressive. Players like Seb Atkinson really stood out. I mean, we will go through players, I think, at a later date, but let me know what you thought of that game. And just a little note at the end, we do have 45% off the testosterone testing kits if you or anyone you know would like to take advantage of that with the code RugbyAnalyst45. Links in the description. That would be cool. But let me know what you thought of that game and who impressed you player-wise. You've got to take your hats off to the coaching team as well, because England were very well joined up in this whole series. They then go to the USA, and I imagine all those players who haven't played in this series get to play in the USA because they kept the team pretty much the same only replacing the injured Slade. Anyway, guys, do subscribe if you're into these sorts of videos, and I'll catch you next time.